All right. I'm going to ask that we all return to our seats as we resume with the formalities of the program. Please feel free to continue, enjoying your dinner. But as I explained to you a little earlier on, we've got simultaneous events happening around the continent, in Accra, in Ghana, and Nairobi, Kenya. And part of what we are trying to do is to make sure that we stick to time, because a little later on, we're going to be linking up to one of those cities. But more about that a little later on. This is one of those award ceremonies. This is one of those award ceremonies that when I first was asked to be the program director for, I remember saying to Colleen, I said, but it's the Gender Mainstreaming Awards. You do realize the look isn't quite... And she said to me, that's exactly the point. That's exactly the point. You don't need to explain to us why this is important, but if we can bring people like you, and you are allies, and you are champions, and you are part of changing the narrative and really changing the paradigm, that's exactly what we aim to do. So it really has been my honor, really, actually, to be the MC for these awards for the last couple of years. And I'm really pleased we're able to do it tonight as well. Because I think whilst tonight is going to be a celebration, whilst tonight is going to be a sense of recognition, there's so much work that needs to be done in terms of mainstreaming what we are really here for this evening. So without any further ado then, I'm going to invite you to take a look at a couple of videos. And the first video is from our naming rights sponsor, Accenture.
Really want to make sure that we are backing champions that are celebrating gender equality and recognizing this very important milestone. And this being the 10th Gender Mainstreaming Awards, we really felt it very important for us to actually show that we are not only just talking about gender equality as a firm, but we are also collaborating and working with other organizations and wanting to actually show and learn from other players. We recognize that Business Engage has got a breadth of exceptional organizations that they work with, and we as well can benefit and learn and actually advance our own program. We know that gender equality increases innovation in organizations, so organizations that are gender inclusive actually outperform their peers. We know for sure that when we are intentional around gender equality, you can actually ensure that the women within the organization do have a sense of belonging, they do have a voice, and they do actually advance within the organization. So ultimately, these are the reasons why we have partnered and what we aim to achieve by sponsoring these awards. Believe that in the past 10 years we've taken leaps and bounds. We do have a way to go still, but I have hope and I have courage and I have confidence that when we look at everyone in the room today and when we look at all the players and all the organizations that are actually working with organizations like Business Engage, we are definitely moving the dial, and it's now at a point where I believe it's really just building on from this momentum that we've built and the impact that we see with regards to progress to really accelerate and make sure that we advance this agenda even more. Not just women, but everyone around the table, so using men as our allies, making sure that everyone is included at the table to ensure that we are advancing even further. journey is not a journey that has happened overnight. You know, we started locally about 3 years ago, where we actually published goals where we say we are seeing that we are overall a 50% organization, but we are not seeing that at the senior level, you know. So what we've then done is actually put out the targets to say by the end of 2025, we want to actually get to having a 50% representation of our overall headcount at a MD level, managing director level, being female, which mirrors the makeup of the organization. So all we need to do is really just start, you know, and don't be too hard on ourselves in terms of aiming for perfection. What is important is to actually start and be enthusiastic about wanting to start, reach out to organizations like Business Engage, who we've benefited from by being a member and have learned from other organizations, you know, best practices that are available. So it is something that is achievable, and you can actually start with your journey and just start, and you've got partners and organizations like Business Engage that you can walk this journey with.
I did, of course, tell you a little earlier on that this being the 10th year, it's a long way from the Johannesburg City Hall, where all of this began in 2012. And it's an appropriate moment, perhaps, to reflect on what that beginning was and how far we have come. So I'm very pleased to tell you, we're now going to hear from Hein Buchman, who was from PwC, who was really so critical in ensuring that these awards achieved financial stability right from the start 10 years ago.
If you look at events such as the Gender Mainstreaming Awards, and you look at the focus it puts on the achievements of female, it's a celebration. It's an opportunity for people to showcase and for others to see and to build those role models. And I think the approach we took, which was to, rather than try and do a million small things, but focus on one large prestigious event such as this, was has paid off as far as we are concerned. I look with interest and with pride at the way this has grown, now Africa-wide as well, and I think the work that's been done has been tremendous, and our contribution to that has been small, but certainly I'm proud of what has been achieved, broadly as a collective. When I was appointed as the CEO for Southern Africa some 10 years ago, I had the freedom of putting together a team of people that could serve on my executive committee. And I guess in the process, it became clear to me that there was simply just not enough senior female representation that I could choose from. And although PwC appoints roughly 55% females, somehow they don't make it to the top in sufficient numbers to have adequate representation. First of all, because I'm a firm believer that diverse teams make better decisions, I felt quite strongly in getting a diverse team together. So I guess I was looking for opportunities to build the pool, to give equal opportunity to everybody, and to make sure that there's some more role models out there. If I look at the position today, and I sort of roll it 10 years forward, I've been retired from PwC now for 2 years, but following my position as the CEO for Southern Africa, I was elected as the Africa CEO. And if I look at the team, then it was about 40% female, but we were still looking for some of those senior business leaders within that executive to come from the female ranks. If I look at the position today, the Southern Africa CEO is Shirley Mashaba, who's a very senior individual, obviously within our organization. And if I look at the rest of the composition of the team, the technology head, the human capital head, the head of diversity and inclusion, and one of our line of service leaders are females. So I think the objective was to build the pool, and yes, I certainly think we have managed to do that. If I also look at the general trend in terms of partner percentage females, it's certainly gone up substantially. I'm fortunate to still work with PwC globally, and so I have a little bit of an insight into what's happening in Africa. And I can see those numbers, and they track in a positive direction. So as far as I'm concerned, lots to do still, but what I had set out to achieve initially has at least partially or to some extent been achieved. Organizations wanting to join this award, in my opinion, will do well to have a good look at this. It's an opportunity where, as I've mentioned, there's an ongoing engagement going over a long period of time. This relationship is certainly not, being based on a single year event. It's been based on an agreement over a longer period of time. And the benefits that we've as an organization have had out of this, and hopefully the same for the Gender Mainstreaming Awards, I think is significant. If you look at the quality of the sponsors, and not wanting to put PwC on a pedestal above anybody else there, but if you look at the quality of the sponsors in general and those that choose to partake in this, it is a high quality group of people to be involved with. So you'll do well to have a good look, in my opinion.
All right, as we proceed now with the formal part of the awards ceremony, I thought I'd just share a brief little story that I think might help us. I have this friend, his name is Jonathan, and for some years now, Jonathan has had a fellow work around his property. He fixes odds and ends around the house. He's a gardener. He's all sorts of things. But the chap's name is Donut. And for years, we couldn't quite understand what kind of name is Donut, right? So one Saturday afternoon, we're all having a braai. There was Donut doing his thing, and we kept this up. And Jonathan says, all right, fine. Calls Donut, says, listen, show us your ID once more. Donut, your name is Donald. To which Donut said, yes, my name is Donut. Now, I always tell that story as a get out of jail card, because as we announce the names, I beg your indulgence now if I call you Donut, when in fact you are Donald. Thank you. I like that table over there. You guys can stay. Come back next year. All right. Without any further ado, please may I ask the Chief Executive of Business Engaged, Colleen Larson, and her team to come forward. They'll be the ones, of course, handing out the certificates. Just a word to all our finalists. We're going to announce different categories. And if you are nominated, please come to the stage as promptly as you can, please. Stay for the photographs, and then, of course, we'll ask you to exit as quickly and as safely as you can. Now, if your category is subdivided into listed and non-listed or non-profit, please wait until the subcategory is announced. We'll be announcing the finalists in alphabetical order, and then, of course, the name of the winner. All the finalist positions will be noted in the Celebrating Women supplement. But I'll tell you a little bit more about that later on. Okay, here we go. Without any further ado, let's start with our first award this evening, and it's the Economic Empowerment Award. This award recognizes and acknowledges organizations that have strategies in place to allow for future empowerment of women, women-owned or managed businesses, or that have successfully used enterprise development as a mechanism to empower women-owned and managed businesses. It also includes organizations that source products and services from previously underused women-owned suppliers, resulting in a number of growth-oriented women entrepreneurs that are able to service various corporates. And here we go. The finalists in the Economic Empowerment Listed Companies category are AECI Limited Business Rescue 2021, AECI Limited Women in Waste Management, RCL Foods Limited. And the winner in the Economic Empowerment Listed category is RCL Foods Limited. All right, we're not done with that subcategory just yet, so whilst they take the pretty pictures, let's go now for... All right, AECI, are you a part of us? There we go. All right, folks, can I please ask you to all come back? Please come back, because we're not done with the category. Remember I said, if it's listed or non-listed or non-profit, please stay until the entire category has been concluded. Come and enjoy the limelight. All right, here we go. That was for listed, and now the finalists in the Economic Empowerment Non-Listed Companies category. The finalists are African Women Innovation and Entrepreneurship Forum. Please come forward. INO Biodiesel. Please come forward. Please stay. Please stay. Pfizer Laboratories Pty Limited. Precious and Partners. Please come forward as I call your name. Bula Pty Limited. And the winner in the Economic Empowerment Non-Listed Companies category is Pfizer Laboratories. right, INO Biodiesel, are you here? INO Biodiesel, are you here? Are you with us? All right, here we go. Now, the reason I asked all of you to stay was because we have an overall winner who is among you. Who would that be? But RCL Foods Limited! That's the overall winner of the Economic Empowerment Award. Thank you very much. Congratulations to all our finalists and our winners. Thank you. And as they exit, a round of applause once again, folks. Please, if you're a finalist, as I announce your name, please make your way to the stage as swiftly as you are able to. We now come to the Equal Representation and Participation Award. This is one that recognizes organizations that have developed strategies or have already implemented measures for the progressive realization of a greater representation and meaningful participation of women in decision-making structures. And that includes setting targets for representation and participation, building women's capacity to participate, enhancing the attitudes and the understanding of men to accept the capabilities and participation of women as their equals, and also, of course, developing support mechanisms for women. The finalists in the Equal Representation and Participation category are Cummins Africa Middle East, please come forward. Heineken South Africa, Nedbank Group Limited, Vodacom Pty Limited. All right, these are our finalists. And the winner in the Equal Representation and Participation Award is Cummins Africa Middle East. Congratulations once again. All right, we now move on to the Investing in Young Women Award. Go ahead. To the Investing in Young Women Award. This award recognizes and acknowledges organizations that have strategies in place to allow for future education of women, young women in particular, or who have implemented initiatives with the objectives of addressing social inequities by educating and empowering young women leaders from diverse economic backgrounds. These initiatives have positively impacted the lives of young women who will become the next generation of women leaders. The finalists in the Investing in Young Women category are AECI Limited. Please come forward. Botswana Women Lean In. Bridge Building OPEX Solutions Pty Limited. Lead 360 Africa Innovation and Research. SHE Engineers, HE Engineers. Southern Africa Institute of Aviation Science and Technology, and Weber Wenzel. Congratulations. I'm saying to them, congratulations. But they're staying. Because, of course, the winner of the Investing in Young Women Award is AECI Limited. Don't you love how crowded it gets up here, right? I think that's testament to the support that this initiative has received. And now we come to the first individual award for the evening. Here's a question. Shh, I want you to ponder this. Who speaks for you when you're not in the room? Who do you speak for when they're not in the room? This is the Inclusive Leader Award. This is a male or female who is actively sponsoring others up in the ranks. They have ingrained into their leadership a style that recognizes the provable benefits to their businesses that diversity brings, with special emphasis on gender. The nomination is made by a person or group of people who know the nominee very well, primarily in a business role, and the nominee accepts the nomination in writing. Please may I invite Joanne Pohl onto the stage. Joanne was also a judge for the Inclusive Leader category, and she'll come and explain to us what it is they were looking for before we invite the finalists.
Thank you, Bongani. Quite a hard act to follow, but feeling, see me, somewhat included. It's a beautiful evening, so thank you very much for the opportunity to speak on behalf of the judges. I'm actually sitting at the back with Gavin, who I gave a proper hug to, and will again later, because this has been a heartwarming, particularly from an individual perspective, award to judge. The same goes out to Michael Juden as one of my fellow judges. And I think I would be hard-pressed not to quote, given that these awards are sponsored by Accenture, from an Accenture perspective, Lily Bararo, and she said, diversity is a fact, but inclusion is a choice we make every day. As leaders, we have to put our message that we embrace and not just tolerate diversity out there. And so this particular award, from an inclusion perspective, talks to incredible stories. We got to hear incredible people we got to meet. And they were very much like Francis Assisi's statement around start with something small to change what or demonstrate what's possible to then do what's impossible. And their stories are just about that. They have been the pebble, thrown it into the water, created the right ripples, and really formed an ocean that changed the landscape. They changed it for their communities, they changed it for their families, and they changed it for the people that work for and with them. They are inclusive in their DNA, in what they do, in how they show up, and in how they do it. So judging these awards has been a reminder of our humanity, that micro actions definitely make a difference. And so to all of the nominees, you are all winners in your own space. You're all authentic in the situations you found yourself in, and thank you for being you. And to the winner, your visible commitment, your humility, your absolute awareness of your own biases, your genuine curiosity for others and in other people, your cultural and emotional intelligence, and your proven track record from the outset in your career, and to be frank, your tears in the process around your heartfelt stories where you shared those of others, really resonated with each of us. And so tonight, I'm very, very excited to announce our winner. And the winner is Martha Bessinger. Sorry. It appears that I've stolen some thunder. Sorry, Bongani. Because we do need to call up all the finalists first. So the good news, though, Martha, is that you are the winner. Come up here.
All right, here we go. We do have other finalists. The surprise is out of the bag. The overall inclusive leader, of course, is Martha. But please, can we acknowledge, and may I invite you to come forward as well, the finalists in the inclusive leader category are Anaki Swanepoel, His Excellency Professor Dr. Ambassador Tal Edgars QC, Kayembe Ilunga, Lee Naik, Martha, Mukwandi Chibesakunda. Now, what is important to note about the inclusive leader is we have a number of countries represented. So even if, as you now know, you're not the overall winner, we do have an inclusive leader for South Africa, and that would be Anaki Swanepoel. Thank you. The inclusive leader for Zambia is Mukwandi Chibesakunda. The young inclusive leader is Kayembe Ilunga. And of course, the overall winner is indeed Martha Bessinger. come to a very exciting part of our program this evening. We are now going to link up directly with Nairobi, Kenya. And as we do that, please may I invite Alison from R&B to come to the stage. All right, in Nairobi, any moment now, coming up on your screen, should be the MC in Nairobi, Kenya, and that, of course, is Angela Wambui. Come on, let's show some love. All right, perhaps whilst we confirm the link, would you like to say a few words and then we'll watch your video?
All right, so we're just waiting for the audio.
Oh, hello. Can you hear us,
Is he
Angela?
on mute? Let's see. Is Bongani on mute?
He is not. Come on, show her that I'm not on mute.
Okay, there we go. We can hear him.
Can you hear us? How's the evening in Nairobi?
Hey.
Hello, Angela.
Hello, Bongani. How are you doing this evening?
I'm very well, I'm very well. I'm so pleased to be talking to you. So here's what we're going to do.
You're looking sharp tonight.
Oh, thank you. I can't see you on my screen just yet, but I'm sure you look as fantastic as can be.
Thank you very much.
All right, so here we go. What we're going to do for this part to just make things a little easier, I'm going to read the category and then the finalists from Johannesburg. And there we go. There we go. Now I can see you. I can see clearly now the rain.
Hey.
All right, so I'll invite, I'll read out the category, and of course, the finalists who's in Joburg, please come to the stage, and if you're in Nairobi, you'll do the same. But before we do that, I'm going to ask Alison from R&B to say a few words, and then of course, we've got a short video.
Thanks, Bongani. Evening, everyone. What a privilege it is to be here tonight on behalf of R&B. This is the first year that we are sponsoring the inaugural Fearless Thinker Award. And this award represents somebody who has broken the stereotypes and has courageously made systemic impact across the industry, across economies and society. It was a real privilege sitting with my fellow judges and just being so inspired by the extraordinary women who are fearlessly changing industries across advertising, technology, education, self-care, going to university, the first individuals in their families and doing incredible things. So on behalf of R&B, I would like to congratulate all the finalists and looking forward to hearing who the winner is. No spoilers this time.
Thank you. All right, let's just watch this short video.
This award seeks to recognize an individual who is not only a role model within their community, but also a thought leader and innovator when it comes to gender mainstreaming issues. It was also really important that their ideas were actionable by a broader audience as well.
So in New York, opposite the stock exchange, there's a sculpture of the fearless girl staring down the famous Wall Street bull. We wanted to have our own version of that sculpture, Africa's fearless thinker, standing side by side with our own lion to represent the role that both men and women need to play in gender equality in business.
R&B's always had a long-standing relationship with Business Engage and the Gender Mainstreaming Awards. We've always believed very strongly in the platform and using the awards to further the gender conversation. We believe that if we all play our part, we have the ability to influence the conversation and create systemic change.
Men Matter has been one of the pillars of the gender equality conversation at R&B, and it's critical that men are involved because gender equality impacts men, but also more importantly, because typically men are the ones who are in the position to really take that conversation forward and alter the dynamics of power within an organization.
While we always knew that the strength of women across Africa was amazing, we were really blown away by the entries in this category. We looked for someone who was a role model within their community. We looked for innovation, but most importantly, we looked for thought leadership as well. And it was really important to us to see how the individual demonstrated their actions.
Africa's fearless thinker serves as a visual reminder of fiercely reaching your own potential.
This evening, our winner will be awarded a maquette of our fearless thinker, which is a miniature version of the sculpture standing next to me.
All right, here we go. See, I'm the eager beaver. All right, so if you're in Joburg, please come to the stage and please do the same in Nairobi. The Fearless Thinker Award finalists are Blandine Umuziranenge, Dr. Gladys Ngetik, Mona Lisa Zwambila, Sally Hutton, Veneranda Kuboka, finalists have made it all to stage in Johannesburg. Angela in Nairobi, everyone is also on stage. Over to you, Alison, to announce the winner.
And the winner is Dr. Gladys Ngetik.
I love it. I love it. I mean, this is truly a Pan-African celebration. I love those visuals coming through from Nairobi, Kenya. Absolutely, absolutely lovely. A round of applause once again. Yes. Dr. Gladys is not with us in the room physically.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, congratulations. With us in spirit and in take. All right.
Thank you so much, Bonga.
It's been a pleasure to link up with Nairobi, and I think both MCs we're being too polite and we don't want to trip over each other. All right, I've got a little bit of housekeeping. Somebody has very graciously donated this iPhone to me. You may have left it at reception, and if you don't come and collect it, thank you very much. No, I'm joking. We've picked up an iPhone, so you may have left it at reception. If you're missing your iPhone, I've got it. Please come collect. I'm sitting right here at table number 3. All right, let's break a little bit with the formalities, shall we? Please let me invite once again the Mzansi Youth Choir for some singing.
Ikwekhala ndlela Did you hear the news on the radio today? People have agreed to give their love away. I can't wait to be there in line. Oh no. Politicians have agreed to honor and obey. They'll come down to listen to what the people say. I can't wait to be there in line. Oh no. If you are ready, feel free to come around. If you are ready, then come we go. Ready, Batila, if you are ready. Oh no. Bye. What I mean, clap and stomp your feet if you hear what I mean. Clap and stomp your feet if you hear what I mean. Clap and stomp your feet if you hear what I mean. Clap and stomp your feet.
Stand next to me and it comes so easy. I am not your toy.
Push me to the floor. Don't give up until I'm begging you for more. I've been thinking of the time I felt inspired.
Push me to the floor. I've been thinking of the time I felt inspired.
Onanti pieza, ubano benga sinta mabubesi.
All along the river, Jeffos and lay asleep. Come to fetch the children of Makeba. Come to accept the railroad's price for peace. And in the morning, as the sun rocks to rush, they are showering the fire and steam. The general told them of the task that lay ahead to bring the people of the sky to heal. Nansinga Ibambe,
Onanti pieza,
Osembolile,
mabubesi.
Nansinga Ibambe, Nansinga Ibambe,
Onanti pieza, ubano benga
Osembolile,
sinta mabubesi.
Nansinga Ibambe.
Hippie.
phakathi ayikudima nokunquma ayamanda wasekho ukhanyisela umntasekhaya lifikile lokwithuba ngoba wena uyindlovu
Lela, Rini, Sela, uzophumelela, uzophumelela. Dame, Lela, Rini, Sela, uzophumelela, uzophumelela. Bokabanya bazobona kum didobu Somelela dame lela sela uzophumelela uzophumelela Bambele 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 Bambele
Oh, how absolutely fantastic is the Mzansi Youth Choir! Now, just a housekeeping note. We've got photographers around the room. They've been snapping us up all evening, including when we arrived. If you want access to those photos, simply scan the QR code that's on your program. I know there's a little thing on the table. That's not the one. You've got to use the one that's in front of your program. That's what you scan. And then, of course, you can get access to all your pictures. So you don't have to use your cell phone tonight. We've got professional photographs that have been taken. All right, so let's proceed then with our awards. We're going to go, and again, Colleen and the team, I feel so lonely here. I can't do this without you. My partners in crime, there you go. We now come to, we come to the awards that are held in collaboration with UN Women. The Women's Empowerment Principles, they're a set of principles offering guidance to business on how to promote gender equality and women's empowerment in the workplace. This is also true for the marketplace. This is also true for communities. It was established by the UN Global Compact and the UN Women. So, the Women Empowerment Principles are informed by international labor and human rights standards, and they're grounded in the recognition that businesses have a stake in and a responsibility for gender equality and women's empowerment. May I also ask Hazel and Aletta to join us on stage. There they are. Thank you. All right. So this is the first year that these awards are being given, and there are 3 awards. All right. The Women Empowerment Principles Gender Inclusive Workplace. This is an award that recognizes the achievements that corporations have demonstrated in adopting relevant gender-inclusive measures in the workplace. This may include innovative approaches to equal recruitment, support, and provide flexible work arrangements addressing specific needs of female and male employees, transformational initiatives to support family responsibilities of female and male employees, to address the unequal care burden, and to accelerate actions to guarantee the safety and well-being of female and male employees. The finalists in the WEP's Gender Inclusive Workplace category are Aspen Pharmacare Holdings Limited, Imperial, PwC, Rand Merchant Bank, Weber Wenzel. Please come forward, finalists. As they take that group photo, can I tell you the winner of the WEP Gender Inclusive Workplace Award is Imperial! Congratulations. All right, now we come to transparency and reporting. Tracking performance and progress towards gender equality and women's economic empowerment is a core value of the WEPs, since it allows companies to uphold their commitments to gender equality. All right, Agnes and Hazel, please stay up. All right, here we go. Tracking performance and progress towards gender equality and women's economic empowerment is a core value of the WEPs, since it allows companies to uphold their commitments to gender equality in the workplace, in the marketplace, and in the community. So this is a category that seeks to recognize transparency and reporting of gender data that goes beyond minimum requirements, but also seeks to measure, analyze, and report on performance of their gender policies and practices across the value chain. The finalists in the WEP's transparency and reporting category are Alexander Forbes Group Holdings Limited, Aspen Pharmacare Holdings Limited, Rand Merchant Bank, and Weber Wenzel. The winner of the WEP's Transparency and Reporting Award is Aspen Pharmacare Holdings. Now we come to the WEP's leadership commitment and action. This category recognizes leaders 35 years and older in corporations who've been instrumental in setting up strong corporate commitments inclusive of progressive policies, regulations, or practices that aim to promote gender equality in the workplace, the marketplace, and community. It may include company leaders taking specific roles and responsibilities in promoting gender equality within their company and making public commitments to delivering gender equality and gender-sensitive messages to the public. The finalists in the WEP's Leadership Commitment and Action category are Aspen Pharmacare Holdings Limited, KLM Empowered, PwC, Rand Merchant Bank, Woolworths Holding Limited. May the finalists please come to stage. And the winner for the WEP's Leadership Commitment and Action Award is... They're doing something right, I tell you. Aspen Pharmacare Holdings. Congratulations to Aspen Pharmacare. All right, and now perhaps it's time for a quick video from our sponsors.
The Gender Mainstreaming Awards are perfectly suited for us as the awards are aligned with our vision of seeing a gender equal society. At the JSE, we believe that gender diversity and women empowerment in both business and the society is really important to our country and its development. And to encourage its progression, we need to recognize the people and companies who are making strides in driving gender equality. And I think that's where the Gender Mainstreaming Awards fits in. It really is an honor for us to participate with such an established platform, one that is celebrating its 10th year, proving its credibility and impact. So for us, it really was a no-brainer to participate in the awards.
The Gender Mainstreaming Awards has always been an incredible platform to recognize and celebrate what we call women of substance and women of stature. And for Imperial, women empowerment and celebrating women who have made it for themselves, whether it was in the personal space or in the professional business environment, has been something we've been wanting to encourage, and we do as part of the new Imperial culture. So for us, the match was one made in heaven, as we would like to say. The Gender Mainstreaming Awards, and with Imperial as a partner, celebrates and recognizes those women who are making a real difference, not just in their societies, in business, but in the lives of many.
ASUPOL is proud to be associated with this initiative as it encourages businesses and individuals to embrace gender equality at workplaces. Recognition is very important for every individual and businesses, and recognition of businesses and individuals who are ambassadors of gender mainstreaming is critical. We believe that through initiatives like this, we can achieve our dream of a society that anyone born can have the same and equal opportunity presented to them to lead fulfilling lives and build a society of our dreams. We certainly do not want our grandchildren to still be talking about gender parity at the workplace.
Thank you to our sponsors, the JSE, Imperial, and ASUPOL. All right, now we come to gender reporting by JSE-listed companies. This is an award that seeks to recognize and acknowledge companies that have embraced both the spirit and the letter of this new listing requirement. It also requires organizations reporting on pipeline development and further recognizes whether or not that organization has made reference to gender or gender policies in the previous year's reports. The finalists in the Gender Reporting by JSE Listed Companies category are Coronation Fund Managers, Cura Holdings, Redefine Properties, and Woolworths Holdings. It's a big room. Or shall we queue in Chariots of Fire? And as they receive their certificates, the winner of the Gender Reporting by JSE Listed Companies Awards is Coronation Fund Managers. Now we come to mainstreaming gender and disability. This is an award that recognizes and acknowledges companies that have strategies in place to allow for future disability programs or that implemented sustainable disability programs which have enhanced skills and provided employment opportunities for people with disabilities. The finalists in the mainstreaming gender and disability category are BAT Southern Africa, Cummins Africa Middle East, KPMG Services Pty Limited, and Vodacom. The winner of the Mainstreaming Gender and Disability Award is Cummins Africa Middle East. All right, and now we come to the empowerment of women in the community. So in this category, this is important, we have 3 subcategories because once again, of course, we're dealing with listed companies, non-listed companies, and the non-profit award. So even as your subcategory is done, please stay because of course we'll have an overall winner. Now, this is an award that recognizes and acknowledges organizations that have strategies in place to allow for future programs or have implemented sustainable initiatives around poverty alleviation, which have enhanced skills and provided income opportunities that have positively impacted the lives of women and poor communities. the finalists in the empowerment of women in the community for listed companies, that is AECI Limited, RCL Foods Limited, Vodacom Pty Limited. And the winner of the empowerment of women in the community for listed companies in this category is, but I'll wait for everybody to come. Best for last, AECI Limited. That's for the listed companies. Now we come to the empowerment of women in the community for non-listed companies. In this category, the finalists are Lushaka Wealth Solutions Pty Limited, Pfizer Laboratories Pty Limited, Randella Wine Pty Limited, Regain 37 Pty Limited. Please come forward. Come and join us. The winner of the empowerment of women in the community for non-listed companies is Pfizer Laboratories Pty Limited. All right, everyone on stage stay because we still have more. Because now we come to the empowerment of women in the community for the non-profit category. And the finalists are African Society 99's International Organization of Women Pilots, Empowered Woman, JB Dondolo, Pan-African Game Changers, Southern Africa Embrace Foundation, and Sisters for Life. Please come forward, the non-profit finalists. Come join us. Don't be shy. There we go. As of course they come up, the winner of the Empowerment Women in the Community for the non-profit category is Empowered Woman. of women in the community. Behind me or with me is for the listed category, for the non-listed companies category, for the non-profit category. And then, of course, there is an overall winner for the empowerment of women in the community. The overall winner is AECI Limited! Congratulations and well done. All right, now, before we move on to the next award, in true style of empowerment of women in the community, Randela Wines, of course, as you heard, were finalists. So Pumla from Randela Wines has graciously donated a bottle of wine to each of the individual winners tonight in the positive role model, inclusive leader, and the fearless thinker categories. Now, Colleen will hand them out later, so if you don't get yours, please hand Colleen down. Thank you, Pumla and Randela Wines. All right, now we come to women empowerment in the workplace for the listed and non-listed awards. This award recognizes and acknowledges organizations that not only have advanced women in the workplaces through training and capacity building, but also have successfully transformed corporate behavior and practices. The finalists in the Women Empowerment in the Workplace for listed companies are BAT Southern Africa, EOH Holdings Limited, RCL Foods Limited, and Vodacom Pty Limited. Please come forward. The winner of the Women Empowerment in the Workplace for listed companies is BAT Southern Africa. Now we come to the finalists in the Women Empowerment in the Workplace for non-listed companies. The finalists are Hollard Life Assurance, Sky Pty Limited, Training B2B, and TransUnion. Please come forward. The overall winner for non-listed companies, Women Empowerment in the Workplace, the winner is TransUnion. have on stage are the winners and the finalists in the Women Empowerment in the Workplace Companies Award for listed and non-listed. But the overall winner is TransUnion! I tell you what, I've been hogging the limelight just a little too much this evening. So I'm going to invite our silent conductor to come back on stage and we can have some more of our interactions. Please welcome back the silent conductor. All right, folks. No, I'll stick to talking. Thank you very much. All right, here we go. We're going to continue then with our awards. May I ask Colleen and the team to come forward and help me to obviously dish out those awards. All right, we're going to start with the Positive Role Model Award. The Positive Role Model Award. This is a lady who's growing in her career, who understands the responsibility that comes with being a role model, and also the need to inspire others to do the same. The nominee is nominated by, beg your pardon. The nominee is nominated by a person or group of people who know her very well, primarily, of course, in a business role, and the nominee accepts the nomination in writing. So here we go. The finalists in the Positive Role Model category are Kalnisha Singh, Luandile Simelane, Mariam Tayob Kasim, Nontobeko Matenjwa, Patricia Luhanga, Rachel Njorore, Singobile Kuluse, Vuyo Henda. Come on, come on. Right, now, we have 3 awards in the Positive Role Model category. Positive Role Model South Africa. For South Africa, we have joint winners, Vuyo Henda and Rachel Njoroge. For Zambia, the Positive Role Model is Patricia Luhanga. And then we have an overall Positive Role Model for Southern Africa, and it's Mariam Tayob Kasim. As they take that photo, let me tell you, in addition to the Positive Role Model category winner, a number of entrants were identified as being winners in their particular sector, and we'd like to honor them now. So if you're already on stage, please stay, but if you're not, come and join us. I'm going to announce the winner and the sector. In agriculture, Kalnisha Singh. In construction and mining, Innocentia Mahlangu. In engineering and technical, Rahel Njoroge. In financial, Renata Galvao. In maritime, Singobile Kuluse. General services, Remy Kluis. In health, Dr. Augusta Dorning. In management, consulting and legal, Nolutando Sikutu. Personal services, Juliet Gudo. Manufacturing and processing, Mariam Tayob Kasim. In professional services, Princess Mtombeni. Public administration, Patricia Luhanga. In property, Liesel Anderson. In telecommunication, Lindy Maepa. In tourism and hospitality, Lungi Lula. In transport and logistics, Chengetai Mujakati. Congratulations to all our sector winners. Please come forward if you're not on stage yet. Well done, well done, well done. Congratulations. Now we come to the Women on Executive Committees in Multinationals. This is an award that recognizes those multinationals that have successfully put in place a program or programs that have made successful appointments or have developed a pipeline program geared towards appointments in the future. So here we go. As I mention your name as finalists, please make your way to the stage. The finalists in the Women on Executive Committees in Multinationals category are... Wait, I haven't announced it yet. Energy Partners Holdings, London Stock Exchange Group, Pfizer Laboratories. Please, may I have those finalists come to the stage? They gather on stage. The winner on Executive Committees in Multinationals Award is Pfizer Laboratories. Now we come to the awards for women on boards. Listen, the board of an organization considers the strategy of the business with the management, but they also have oversight of the implementation of that strategy. So the crux of this award is to recognize and acknowledge companies that have successfully transformed their boards and board subcommittees whilst ensuring that female directors are judged on their experience, contribution to, and involvement in the board and not their gender. It seeks to acknowledge companies who challenge themselves to diversify their boards. The finalists in the category Women on Boards are Aon South Africa Pty Limited, EOH Holdings Limited, and the Nedbank Group Limited. Please can our finalists come to the stage? of the Women on Boards category? Is it Aon? Is it EOH? Is it Nedbank? It is EOH Holdings Limited. Congratulations. And now we're really coming to the exciting part of the evening. As I told you a little earlier on, we are celebrating the Gender Mainstreaming Awards across the continent today. We're doing so for Southern Africa, for South Africa, and of course you saw us linking to Nairobi, for East Africa, that's for sure, and for West Africa. We have simultaneous award ceremonies happening right now. Isn't that pretty special? So, here we go. We now come to announcing our gender mainstreaming champions. For West Africa, that goes to Old Mutual Life Assurance Company Limited in Ghana. The gender mainstreaming champion for East Africa is NMB Bank PLC in Tanzania. Now, while that's good for you to know, we've got to come back home. The Gender Mainstreaming Awards for Southern Africa. So what we're going to do right now is something pretty special that we do every year. You remember, of course, in 2021, the winner was Tiger Brands, right? Yes. So Tiger Brands, the 2021 Southern Africa winner, let me not steal their thunder. They will announce the winner for 2022. Have a look at their video.
For us, gender mainstreaming and gender equity is part and parcel of who we are as an organization. It is critical that we have diverse people within our organization that can truly connect to the diversity of consumers that we have. The more diverse and inclusive our people are, the more they'll be innovative and think about how to improve our products and come up with new solutions that are really connected to our consumers' needs. But also it's part and parcel of our business strategy and how we deliver on that business strategy. So we have quite a holistic way of looking at gender equity. We look at how do we develop women across the organization in the core of our business in areas such as supply chain, in our bakeries and in our customer function, which is our sales function, where typically women haven't really gravitated to those careers in the past. So it starts with giving bursaries to women to study disciplines that are core to our business. And then once they are in our business as graduates, we really give them opportunities to move around in the organization as they develop. And as they develop into senior roles, we give them opportunities to develop their leadership skills so that we have representation not only at the lower levels of the organization, but also in leadership.
Historically, we have mainly sourced from white commercial farmers, and now to try and transform our supply value chain, we put in place a program that will enable us to be able to source from emerging black farmers who would previously have been excluded. To support the development of these emerging farmers, we put in place the aggregator development model. What it is bringing together these small-scale farmers. By doing that, we are able to get them to almost pool together their resources, including land resources, so that they have the sufficient scale to be able to supply into Tiger Brands. The focus is mainly on women, and I'm not apologetic here. I'm a woman, and when we talk about farmers, we think of the khaki-clad Afrikaner, right? But when you go to the farm, you see that the people who actually do the farming are black women. And so why not empower them to be able to be, the primary suppliers into Tiger Brands? So it's focused mainly on black farmers, but specifically on black women farmers and black aggregators. Because you know what I believe? When you empower a woman, you empower the nation. It's enabling women to create a livelihood for themselves. And by creating a livelihood for themselves, they in turn create a livelihood for their families. There are two particular women aggregators that started with Tiger Brands at such a small scale. And now, today, they actually the one supplies nearly 5% of the small white beans that go into making our iconic Koo baked beans come from this woman aggregator. But not only does she supply us with the small white beans for Koo, she also supplies us with the ground nuts that go into the Black Cat peanut butter. And the other one supplies us with the maize that go to making Ace maize meal. So isn't it wonderful that one day, when you go into the supermarket, you'll pick up a Koo baked bean can and say, the beans in here are produced by South African black women aggregators.
We have 3 core business programs for women. We have women in supply chain, women in bakeries, and women in customer. And these came about because we identified about 3 years ago that we were struggling to attract women to these particular disciplines in our organization. And they are critical to what we do and what we produce and what we market to our brands.
Women in Bakeries program on Albany gave me the opportunity to be exposed and receive mentorship from senior leaders within the business, and to also be a part of strategic projects where I was able to add a valuable contribution. It also allowed me the opportunity to develop a relationship and a support structure with the other women in the program. And to this day, I'm able to lean on these women both professionally and personally. And I think lastly, the exposure on this program has really skyrocketed my career within Tiger Brands and the bakery team.
The Women in Customer program was a very good program. So it essentially took women in the customer, and when I say customer, I mean the sales team, and really paired them up with other functions. What was key and what is the highlight for me is the support that I received from my mentor. And that just became a sweet spot because we really gelled very well, and the relationship is still carrying on up to today.
For me, being in the women in supply chain is a miracle. It's basically male-dominated, and you feel as though that you don't get hurt, that there aren't opportunities, but knowing that Tiger wants to prioritize women and actually allow us to then display our gifts, our talents, and give us a voice to be part of the future of the organization and to change the organization to be what it should be in terms of inclusive of what South Africa looks like, both male and female.
Women can actually thrive and be successful in supply chain, and opening doors for other women and making the table bigger, for more women in the space, and being successful in this position means a lot for me because it just shows other women that it is possible and it is doable. We know supply chain has been historically a very male-dominated space. So we're here to show that it is done, it is possible because yes, women can do it and they have done it and proven it before.
The award to be, I suppose, recognized as the gender mainstreaming champion in South Africa was really meaningful for us because when we participated in the awards, it was with the intention of learning from others because we thought we were at the foothills of our journey, just starting out. We've only really had a gender equity structured approach and strategy for the last 3.5 years, and we wanted to benchmark and learn from others. And it was really, really encouraging to find out that we actually were doing the right things and we were headed in the right direction.
I think what drives me is to make my family proud and to one day have a daughter perhaps who will enter the working world, and that's a working world where gender equality is the norm, and she's able to choose a career path that's in line with her aspirations rather than just a career path that's deemed more appropriate for women.
Take your voice, use it, ask questions, because if you don't ask, you don't know. And take up your space as a Tiger woman because Tiger is offering you the opportunity to be in the room, to have your voice heard, and to bring about the change.
Just watching that video, if I think about the stories that our mothers and grandmothers tell us about how maybe even 40, 50 years ago, none of that would have been possible. But we're trying to create a new narrative, a new norm. Please may I invite Snare from Tiger Brands to come on stage.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great honor to be invited to announce this year's gender mainstreaming champion for Southern Africa. And of course, to do so in person after not being able to celebrate together for so long is a really special treat, isn't it? It is wonderful to hear how this audience celebrates and applauds the winners with so much enthusiasm. We all appreciate how much work goes into building and executing the targeted programs and driving the levels of progress that tonight's award winners have achieved in their individual organizations. To all the finalists and winners, we proudly celebrate this special moment with you. Thank you to the team at Business Engage and Accenture for the very important work that you do in showcasing the efforts of companies and individuals who are working to create a more gender equal world across the African continent. We are really grateful. And finally, thank you to the judges for your time and dedication to these awards. When we, as Tiger Brands, entered the Gender Mainstreaming Awards in 2021, our intention was to learn from the best practices in other organizations and to get an idea of how we were progressing on our own journey and towards gender equity, so that we could further accelerate our efforts towards becoming truly diverse and inclusive, and an organization that is a true reflection of the vibrant tapestry that is our continent. The energy and the passion that has gone into shining the spotlight on women giving them opportunities to achieve their true potential in their chosen vocations, and giving them a voice, not only within Tiger, but also as our suppliers, as our customers, our consumers, and our communities, is certainly paying off. And it keeps us inspired to continue on the journey. The journey of 1,000 miles does indeed begin with one step. As you all well know, there is so much more that we all need to do collectively to achieve gender equity in every aspect of our lives, and to, of course, lift as we rise. Tonight, in hearing of the work that is being done in companies and teams across the continent, we are even more inspired and reminded that while change starts with the actions we take as individuals, it is when we combine all our individual actions and efforts that we become a powerful force for change. As Maya Angelou eloquently said, when you learn, teach. When you get, give. I come as one, but I stand as 10,000. The Gender Mainstreaming Champion is, of course, a very special award in recognition of an organization that has made exceptional progress in advancing gender equity and meaningful representation of women in the mainstream of business. Therefore, please join me in congratulating the 2022 Gender Mainstreaming Champion of Southern Africa. Drum roll, please. Congratulations, ACI Limited.
And now, folks, we come to the pinnacle award of the evening, the Gender Mainstreaming Award for the continent of Africa. It really is the pinnacle award. It is the last one for this evening. It's the last one for this year. So, what I want to do now, as we announce the Gender Mainstreaming Champion for Africa, firstly, let me tell you that to win this award, you truly have to demonstrate an African footprint. But I'm going to invite someone who's very, very special to hand over this trophy and to announce the name. And that, of course, is last year's champion from EY. Please may I invite Jabulile to come on stage to announce this year's winner.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I cannot believe that it's been a year since we've been awarded the honor of being the Africa Gender Mainstreaming Champions. When Colleen mentioned that we were the winners, it was really just surreal because we are on a learning journey as EY. I must tell you though, Colleen, that the celebrations were very short-lived because as we informed EY people, I started getting anxious because I started wondering whether the policies, the guidelines, the processes, methods, and practices that have enabled us to achieve the success that we did were still relevant in a new way of working environment which has been propelled by COVID. I worried that our EY people will not resonate with this award, that their lived experience would not be in line with the objective of gender mainstreaming. And I am very fortunate that I am surrounded by a leadership team that is like-minded because we all agreed that we had to go back to the drawing board. We then put together what we call today the Africa Social Equity Task Force. Some of the members are with me today. And we actually focused on 5 key things, and I'll share some of those with you quickly. Firstly, we did not want to make an assumption that leaders and employees understood how to lead inclusively in a hybrid world. We did not want to leave that to chance. So we went on a massive training and awareness drive, focusing on behaviors that ensure an inclusive culture. Secondly, we put a magnifying glass on performance management, pay equity, and promotions. Because we understood one thing that I'm sure you will all agree with me, that while COVID affected the world negatively, females were disproportionately affected by COVID because they took on significantly more family responsibilities. So we wanted to ensure that there is no bias against those females that embraced flexible working. Because we have walked a long journey as EY to really get to a point where we've built a very healthy female pipeline. Today, we sit with a 65% senior manager female pipeline in South Africa. We need that to translate to at least 50% leadership, and we cannot leave anything to chance. Our third priority just focused externally on our communities, and our flagship Next Gen program, which actually focuses on providing access to learning for females from previously disadvantaged communities. We celebrated 10 years of that program, and as we reflected last night, that we started with 30 girls, and today we have 358 learners at different levels in their journeys. We were joined in the room at EY offices in Johannesburg, Durban, and Cape Town by some of the learners that we call alumni who are at universities. Some are gainfully employed in different sectors. We have doctors that were produced through this program. We have engineers, we have actuarial science students, and we have some who have joined the EY business. And when we looked at the program, we knew that we cannot lift a girl child without focusing also on the teachers that play an important role in the lives of these female learners. So we invest differentially on our teachers, and we invest differentially on the families where our young girls come from. We also focus on supporting and incubating entrepreneurs. Through our Entrepreneurial Winning Women program, we support females differentially through our procurement spend. Now, all of us here are on a journey. We understand the importance of gender mainstreaming, and we also understand that we have achieved, what we have achieved so far is just a ripple. There is a massive inequity gap that still exists in our organizations and society. As Estee Lauder says, I do not get there by wishing for it or hoping for it, but by working for it. Let us all move forward together. Now it is that time where we announce the 2022 Gender Mainstreaming Award champion for Africa. Now I get your attention. Let us all just stand and give a well-deserved round of applause to I don't want to be that person, right? Let us put our hands together to BAT East and Southern Africa.
Team BAT. All right, whilst we just double check, maybe they're taking a comfort break. In the meantime, somebody was washing their hands, I understand, in the ladies' bathroom. So if you've lost your ring, and it's a beautiful ring, if you've lost your ring, if you've lost your ring and you don't want to explain a whole lot when you get home, right? Come get your ring. right. All right, look, congratulations to Team BAT, East and Southern Africa. And I've still got this ring. If you wanted, you should have put a ring on it. All right, here we go. Let me just remind everyone, as we wrap up the formal part of tonight's proceedings, you remember, of course, every year, the Sunday Times issues the Celebrating Women supplement, the Sunday directly after the Gender Mainstreaming Awards. So please make sure you collect your copy on the way out. And so that will be available tonight. It'll also be available in the Sunday Times. And it'll really just put a spotlight on what tonight has been about. Thank you to everyone who has come tonight. Thank you to all our finalists in all the categories. Thank you to the people who nominate, who recognize. Thank you to the judges. Thank you to the sponsors. Thank you to everyone who has been part of a very, very successful evening. And please may I ask you to diarize, remember, the 5th of October, 2023, because that's when we will meet again. Congratulations once again to all our winners. And I still have this ring. Well done. Thank you and good night.